This episode is brought to you by diggingherroots.com. Diggin Her Roots Boutique is a Black-owned, female-founded company that specializes in apparel for the culture. Their unique specialty pieces are collaborations with artisans from all over the world, and the Relatable podcast is giving you 15% off. Use our code RELATEPOD at the checkout for 15% off your order. That code is RELATEPOD for 15% off. Get the link and all the other information from this episode in the show notes.
Welcome to the Relatable podcast, a safe space for open and honest conversations created for Black people.
This podcast explores how we relate to one another in our intimate connections, friendships, family, and everything in between. Hosted by 3 Caribbean women. I am Fiona, a single mom.
I'm Sherween, a very near empty nester.
And I'm Chantal, a free-spirited monogamist. Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.
Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Relatable podcast, your favorite Caribbean trio, bad gals, classy gals, sexy gals, all of the gal them. Welcome. How have you all been? How's things going? Today we have a lovely episode. It's going to be a bit short this week. However, it's always packed with lots of laughs. You all know the thing. You all know how we go. So first of all, Shani, how you doing this week? Wagwan with you?
Wagwan. I'm back in Nevis after being in Barbados for the Cross Continental Forum. And I'm actually in recovery mode because it was intense. We were working from dawn to dusk. Listen, I think I'm going to have to do a separate episode to take you guys through everything. But thank you, everyone who supported Island Girls Rock in our journey to get to Barbados. So for those of you who don't know the backstory, we pitched to be a media partner for this amazing forum, the Cross Continental Forum, which is focused on filmmaking, storytellers. And the theme this year really spoke to me, decolonizing co-production, right? So there was a call for media partners. Island Girls Rock pitched. We won a place as a media partner in Barbados. The forum was able to cover our accommodation, ground transportation, and foodage, which of course, being me, was very important, but could not cover our flights to get there. And I say our because it wasn't just me. We had one of our Bloom Where You're Planted mentees. Bloom Where You're Planted is the Island Girls Rock mentorship journey. We also had our lead content creator, Brianna, travel with us. So I had to raise funds for 3 flights to get to Barbados to cover this not once in a lifetime, because we have more opportunities coming, but this amazing opportunity to be fully immersed in the filmmakers, the storytellers, producers, directors, iconic film industry giants for 5 days of workshops, plenary sessions, film screenings. And this was all put together by the founder of the Caribbean Tales Media Group, which is Francis and Solomon. So it was a twofold thing. So one event was the actual forum. And then in the evenings, we had, I think it's 20 years of Caribbean Tales being celebrated. So lots of screenings, in conversations with some of my faves. Listen, y'all, I have to come back and do a separate episode because it was life-changing. And we're so grateful that Island Girls Rock was included, that we were viewed as a peer. We were accepted as a peer and not as an organization that ain't know what they're doing. So, so that was very beautiful. New relationships. I mean, we were literally sat at the table. We were given a seat at the table with CCH Pounder, Lorraine Toussaint, Effie Brown, Like we were sat at the table with them, literally, physically, for
Wow.
5 days.
Wow.
The film commissioner from the Cayman Islands, Brittany, like just wonderful peers in media, the Black British, what's it called again? Black British, I can't remember. Brain fog. But Akua, I see you, I feel you. Alt Africa, Joy, hey, like, oh my gosh, Roots, what is it? I know Bree's gonna tell me afterwards, but Shayna from Canada, I think it's Roots Reggae Hub. Like, I may be saying these names wrong. Excuse me. It's early in the morning, may ain't had no breakfast and brain fog, but just amazing people. Honestly, we have some films to screen for Island Girls Rock. Just the BFI. Oh, how could I forget the BFI? The British Film
Wow.
Institute, right? Oh
Wow.
my goodness. Representatives that we connected with, that we bonded with. Just honestly, the list is ongoing. And we're so, so grateful to have been in that space. Truly grateful. Pivotal moment, core memories, connections forever. Thank you so much to the team of the Cross Continental Forum. Yeah, lots to share, guys. So I am actually like, I'm properly recollaborating. I'm trying to ground myself. And of course, I have things to run, I have things to do. We're forming our core Caribbean team for Island Girls Rock. We're getting our board sorted out. So I've come back, haven't really rested, hit the ground running, very grateful and exhausted at the same time. Hoping that next week I'll be able to take a few days off to really just recenter myself. But I'm exceptionally grateful, exceptionally grateful. So that's where I
Wow.
am.
Wow. Girl, it sounds amazing. I wish I was there. I'm not gonna lie, my mouth was stretched for a little while. Um, yeah, I have to be honest. We always honest out here.
Right.
Mouth was stretched, but everything y'all put out, it looked so amazing, so
Oh,
professionally done. I was in awe of it. I'm like, go on, my girl, do your thing. And Brianna, that's a
Brianna.
I know she was a little firecracker getting the thing done. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
well done. Kudos to y'all.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what comes out of it.
Thank you,
I cannot
Sherween. I
wait.
really appreciate that.
Um Fifi, Wagwan.
You know, I need to. I'm annoyed if you're showing because you know what? Just before
Wow.
listeners, just before our we began recording, Shawina has very selective memory,
Wow.
and
Wow.
looking at
So
how
we've,
she
we've
has
got spilling over into
twisted.
relatable, yeah? Okay.
Yes, because she has twisted.
Hmm.
You know, Chantal and I's advice to encourage her for self care, self reflection, loving yourself, loving your
Wow.
own company,
Mhm.
to abuse.
Mhm.
Yes, listeners. Yes, listeners. Our advice has been relayed by our beloved Shoween as
Wow.
abuse.
I
So
Okay.
I'm
mean,
feeling resentful. But,
oh,
anyways, moving on.
How? Wow, wow,
Yes.
wow,
mm,
wow, wow.
Well, wow is what I said when you relayed the things that Chantal and I said to you as if it was, relate to you in such an abusive manner. Yeah, that we are very unsupportive friends.
mm,
I
No, it's
mm,
okay.
never use those
mm,
words. I never use
mm.
those words. These words don't.
Words were used were forced,
Mhm.
made you, yes,
Yes, yes, this is true.
right?
This is true.
Forced me to do this
Oh,
that I did not want to do. You see, I should not listen to y'all. I should listen to Lauren Toussaint.
Yes, because she's
Yes,
an amazing
she's
woman,
right. She's
thriving
right.
woman,
But your
and
friends who've
happily
known
thriving
your friends who've
because
known
of her
you, your
amazing
friends who've known you
advice.
for more than 10 years know you and love you less and are less amazing than Lauren to say it's okay, showing. The
I
woman
never
said one
said
sentence.
again,
The woman said
again.
the woman
I
said one
never said
sentence.
that.
We have given you yes. You said, you see, Lauren to say is right. I finished with y'all, all that shit y'all are telling me, forcing me. And so the woman who's never met you, but your friends who've known you for more than 10
mm.
years.
Because
Who been the ride or
Ride or die.
dies, all the love
All the
and
love.
it don't mean
Not a
nothing.
thing. Nada.
because
Zilch.
Laura,
You see, we need to let the listeners know the context, right? We need to,
exactly,
because,
exactly.
okay, Fiona
If
just
you
went
if
in.
you
Fiona just went
spill it over like that, you might
in.
as well give some context. Give it.
Let's give some context. So during the Cross Continental Forum, our wonderful mentee, Zion Harding, was interviewing Lorraine Toussaint. Oh, Toussaint, right? And we wrapped the interview, and Bree, actually we hadn't wrapped it. Bree added on a question and said, what advice would you give? Thriving life, da da da. I don't want to give it all away because we're going to release that very impactful video pretty soon. And Lorraine, said something around the lines of, cut out the bullshit, really lean into what is important in life, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what brings you joy,
Uh-huh.
right? Eat the cupcake, have the lovers, experience life.
Mm-hmm.
If marriage is your thing, find a partner who truly aligns, right? if,
Mm-hmm.
if having children is your thing, make sure that you are the most loving parent and you still show up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not seeking marriage, have the lovers. Find yourself a
Yes.
lover. And I
And
re-
this is
and
where,
this is where Showing started to then cuss me and Fiona and say,
yes,
you see what
yes,
Lorraine said? And are you
yes,
there telling me to take time out to do? Lorraine
yes.
don't know you. She don't know
No,
you.
Lauren
She
does
don't know
not
the
know me.
context of who Sherween is and how Sherween has lived her life. But you have decided that you are going to hone in on that one sentence.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
because
as Fiona said, disregard 10 years plus of people knowing Sherween and knowing what she needs at that point in her life or this point in her life. And you have decided, you see, oh, you're wrong. Oh, you're wrong. Y'all telling me things, and Lorraine is the one for me, and I going with what Lorraine's saying.
I
Eh?
want to see showing face. Showing, put on your camera, please.
no, I'm not doing it.
Right? So don't bring Lorraine
However,
into this. Do not bring
listeners,
Madame Toussaint into
listeners,
this.
listeners,
Eh?
the thing is, all right,
Mm, okay.
yes, I have not been on my own for an extended period of time
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
Define
always in a
extended.
man. Oh, okay, oi, oi,
Fiona.
oi. Let me talk now. Let me let me talk. I have not been on my own, and I watching that time. I watching that time. I have not been on my own for an extended period of time.
What is the
Okay,
period of
ever.
time?
However, ever, I know what I need.
Oh.
I know that I am somebody I need. When I say I need it, I don't mean I will die without it, but I
Hmm.
know what makes my mental health in a good place. When I get my little thing on the side, it could be a lover, it could be me with a man. And when I have a man in my life, hey, I vex, apart from the mad ones that I should not be dealing with. But when I have somebody in my life, I good. When I don't have somebody in my life and I have my lovers, yes, my lovers, you'll tell me, oh, Showing, you need to experience time on your own. You need to experience this. And I get it. I've done it.
For
I've
how
done
long,
So,
Charlene?
so hold on.
Mm.
A quick
oh,
question.
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A quick question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the advice that we have given is because you give so much of yourself when you are in relationships? Um, and that you tend to prioritize these people more than yourself. There's
I
something.
hear that.
Hold
Shit.
on, and that you enjoy doing things for your partners. All of us do, right? Somebody's cooking them a nice meal, or knowing that they're coming home late from work, so gas you organize their laundry for them, and all of those things, right? So, and that us seeing you doing that, and then because even showing like now right? So like now when I say Gasa, you really need a fork, it's because you are last on your list, right? If there's about 12 people in front of
Mm.
Sherween's list of priorities before herself right now,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So
Mm-hmm.
us seeing you as your friends prioritizing other people, other people, other people. And when you exit from those relationships, sometimes you move very swiftly to get a lover to replace the one that you are no longer with. And you haven't given yourself time to prioritize you. That's
Fiona,
all.
Fiona,
Yes.
everything you're saying is correct. Yes, you're right. However, what you're not hearing is maybe I enjoy. This is what I get my where I get my happiness from. I enjoy doing. I'm a nurturer. I have I raise four beautiful kids. All right.
Mm.
I love giving. I love doing things for people. I love if I have somebody in my life, I will take care of them. I will do what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
On A, don't get me wrong, a lot of those motherfuckers have not deserved my time or
Mm.
my energy. Okay, that's me and my decisions. However, I that's the type of person I am. Okay, so if I am with somebody, I will naturally give to that person. That's what women do. That's what I do. All right. It's not because I'm being forced to do it, it's because I want to do it. I am
But
happy doing it.
but that's what I said, Showing. No one has said the word forced here,
Okay.
except when you say we're forcing you not to fuck.
No,
No one used the word forced.
is okay. What it is for me is I feel like and we've had that discussion many times in private and
Mm.
unrelatable. Is the feeling of like I'm doing something wrong.
Mm.
No, it's not.
And
It's
that
not
is what
that.
it is. And I feel like I watch myself like, sure, why you can't stay 6 months by yourself, you can't do this by yourself, you can't do that by yourself without having a man in your life and thing. And I kind of judge myself. I put myself like I watch myself like I have no self-control or this or that. I do take it hard on
Well,
myself. Okay.
well,
But
I'll say
it's something
this.
that comes naturally to me. When I'm with somebody, I feel I I am happy by myself now. I know I am very happy by myself. Extremely happy by myself. So much so, I want not even my child in my space right now. Okay? I don't want nobody in my space.
What
However,
what I'm
yes,
saying.
I want a little lover every now and then. I want a hug and a kiss every now and then. And I don't want to feel like I'm
Yes.
doing something wrong. So yesterday, Miss Fiona saw me, and I am a flipping mess right now because I'm dealing with a lot. And that
Mm-hmm.
bitch watched me and said, my God, you need a fork. I said,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do. I
Okay.
do. I do
Showing.
because I am taking doing all of these other things. And the one thing I want to do, and they're like showing, you know what? That's a no, maybe don't do it. Leave that alone. I drop all my hose. I
But
drop all
showing,
my
hold
hose.
on, showing, hold on. You being defensive,
I
and
am being very defensive.
now let me now as because I feel like you when we sing, because the thing is, and I want to be very clear because you said something there, and you being a nurturer and wanting to give, none of us, Chantal, me, no one sees that as a problem. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of your positive attributes because you're a nurturer to me as my friend. That's why you're my biggest cheerleader,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that part of you is one of the things I love the most. Okay? You as a mother, all of those things, I know that's you. I know that's you. And that is never a negative thing. I never look at you when you're in those relationships, you thrive on that gas, and that's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. Because if I am to be there hating on you, give it to a man, whatever, but you do the same for your friends. There's nothing you wouldn't do for me, and I know that. There's nothing you wouldn't do for my child, and I know that. You have defended me to ready to take jail for me already,
Mm-hmm.
Gasa. So it's not that is part of you in every relationship, friendship, family relationship. Gasa, there's nothing you wouldn't do for the people that you love. That's not the thing. It is like even it is looking at, so Chantal and I, have had varying periods, some by force, some by choice, of being alone and not being intimate with a man if it's for a couple of months or more than that, right? And that level of introspection is difficult, hard, but it's also reaffirming of knowing that if I am alone, I will be okay. And having that time to fall in love with yourself. Now, I've fallen in love with myself in different ways. We've spoken about when I fall in love with myself by being that the perfect girlfriend, doing all the cute dates and all those things. I came to love myself through that by understanding how amazing I could be and through my extreme loneliness. Now, nobody wants to have to go through loneliness to fall in love with themselves. And that's why we were not encouraging you to be lonely, but just to, because showing you were a mother from young, you come all of your 20s, you were a mother, head of the PTA, you were the wife, you were the this, whatever. And there wasn't time where it was just Sherween for Sherween, right? And that is all we wanted to encourage. That's all.
Yeah, but
Because
I'm
the
doing,
lovers will
yeah, I've
come.
been doing it. I've been doing that from more or less January, haven't I? From the time I moved down to the countryside. I have been.
Oh, okay.
Don't confuse my work with something else.
Oh,
I'm not talking about your work. I'm not talking about your work. I'm just saying that in terms of, I guess, celibacy has
I don't know
variants
why
of.
celibacy has to have anything to do with it. I go a whole month without anybody coming near me, touching me or anything. And on one day of the month, if my body and my hormones kick in and it happened to be a full moon and I want to wail, I get a little something and the person go on their business. What?
So no, you know what's funny? It's because you just quarrel about it.
I don't understand.
It's she just quarrel.
Like, okay.
So it highlighting it. She's just
Mm.
Yeah.
quarrel.
So I have to be celibate. I don't need
No,
to be.
because no, but showing the reason why this whole discussion started is very innocently. Chantal said, "Oh yes, Lorraine Toussaint said to me, I
Because
should have a
Lauren have it
lover,"
right.
and then you just jump down everybody front. So you're like, "Hey, guess
Because
what?
Lauren know the thing.
So this
Lauren
is
have the
why.
Oh.
elixir
So
to
when you're
living a
talking
happy
about
life.
it,
I don't want any man in my space now, but I want a lover or two or three. I want
Ekwedu,
lovers.
Ekwedu Aikoke showing. Mete do Aikoke.
Listeners,
Yes.
listeners,
And
she
those who do
just
not
said,
speak Creole,
and, and those who did not speak Creole, she just said, I told you to go and fuck. That's what she said. All right.
wow.
So
Okay.
don't come
Okay.
And
for
on that
me.
note, can we start the episode,
On
please?
on that note,
Okay. I
listeners,
already know
we
how you're
love
doing,
you
Fiona. You're
so
annoyed.
much.
You're annoyed. I'm now
Woo.
annoyed.
I am trying to get mango thing out my teeth, so
I am now
let's go.
annoyed. So let us
Chantal
move
go and
into
eat
the
mango and come
episode.
back.
I
Miss
did.
Lauren, so I love you. You're amazing. I wish I met you. I want to hug you. You know the thing. You have the elixir to life. Get a lover
Wow.
or
Ah.
two or three.
You know what, Brie? Let's get Lorraine on the show. I feel
Yes,
like
please.
Lorraine needs to
Yes,
speak about
please.
this advice. Okay.
Yes, anyway, what are we speaking about today? Well, today we're going to be speaking about our experiences and advice for traveling with friends, partners, and
Don't do it.
solo. Oh my God.
That's it. Quick
Rihanna,
show. Don't do it.
quick show, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Go by yourself. Go by yourself or go with a group of people that mad just like you. And what happened
Yo,
happened. Remember, don't
what happens in Dominica stays in Dominica. Just don't
don't
do
do
it.
it. Don't do it, Brianna. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be very fast.
Very quick. That's the end of the show. Bye, y'all. Remember, a shared journey brings up, but just don't
But
journey with your
I have
friends. No.
experiences. How has your experiences been? Seriously, traveling
Okay.
with I know friends. We've done Shani, I've traveled to you. I've not traveled with you,
With,
but
yeah.
we've been to Dominica. You've come to St. Lucia. Call it we
Mm-hmm.
traveled together with friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's been amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything. I don't think I've had an experience, a bad experience traveling with friends. I don't think
Mm.
I've done that. Oh
Okay.
yes, I did. Matnik. Oh yes, I did.
Uh-oh.
Oh
Huh?
yes, I
Matt
did.
Nick?
Matnik, yes.
But did you travel with the person?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I traveled with them.
okay,
It
okay.
was with Fiona and yeah.
Huh?
But anyway,
Mm.
we're not talking about that. But that's the
Oh.
one experience with friends that
Hmm.
I had, and I was like, yeah, ready to go back at my home now.
It was a very intense trip that
Mm,
had
Yeah.
amazing positives.
mhm.
Yep.
But the person that we were with
Oh,
wasn't in a good place, so they
okay.
started to project certain things
Oh,
that
okay.
created discomfort.
Okay.
Um, and yes, it was yeah, and it
Okay.
also wasn't their place to be behaving that way.
Oh.
They were not. Yeah, it was just small things, and of course the small things add up because you're in the house together, you're in the car together, you're doing
Girl.
activities together.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it was that was a I
That's
think
the only time.
one of the most intense trips I've ever done, for
Oh,
real.
wow.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
That I
Okay.
think for me, that's the only time with friends, yeah. With
Mm.
friends, that's the only time really I
Mm.
felt yeah, ready to go back at my home. I don't want to be
Mm.
yeah, that's the one time. But other than that,
I
Mm.
don't think you wanted to go home. I think you wanted to not be around
The
yeah, I just wanted to
person.
go do
the
my own thing.
situation.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
But all the other times, I don't think I've had any issues with family for me personally. I've not done much travel with family. The one time I traveled with two of my kids was coming to St. Lucia with Lucas and Haley. And that
Mm-hmm.
was, I mean, that was lovely for me. It's my children. And we were coming home to St. Lucia. So I didn't have any real issues with it. But I've not been on a family holiday with my kids.
Mm.
Purely because it was always too expensive. We had four kids. So of
Yes.
course, we did the day trips to France. We did the them little things when we were in
Mm-hmm.
UK, but to say we had like a big family holiday, never done it. Never done it. So I can't. I don't know about you guys.
I've traveled with former partners. I think out of all my partners, I've traveled with one, two, let me see. Hmm. Hmm. I've traveled with three of my former partners, including my ex husband. And out
Mhm.
of the three, I would say I traveled well with one. And what I mean when I say I traveled well with, it was easy. We were aligned in understanding, doing things together, doing things separately. So there wasn't a need to be up under each other all the time and do the same
Mhm.
things all the time. Um, and yeah, it was ease. It was ease. Whereas with the other two, one in particular, very different ideas of what a holiday looks like, of what traveling looks like, in terms of, just different. And there's nothing wrong with having different perspectives or different needs from your holiday.
Mhm.
So what I've learned from that is if I am traveling with someone, whether it's a lover, partner, friend, family, my question is always, what do you want this holiday to feel like?
Yeah.
Like what are your needs for this holiday?
Yeah.
Because our needs could be vastly different, aligned, or somewhere in the middle, right? And I think if you're going on holiday with others, it's important to understand what they need
Yeah.
and what their
Definitely.
expectations are, so that when you arrive at the destination, okay, well, this person likes to be not together all the time, or this
Mhm.
person likes more cultural things or historical things, or this person just wants to be by the pool with a cocktail, or whatever it is. There's no wrong way to holiday,
Yeah.
right? but there is a way where everyone's needs can be met. So I think the discussions before the travel are important, the most important, and then people that you love are not always the best people to travel with. Okay. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
really looking forward to traveling with a friend of mine. And during that time away, I was like, my mother's, well, gone, yeah. Just, the energy was very different.
Mm-hmm.
They had very different attitudes. Like the patience wasn't there. The patience wasn't there
Mm.
for things to go wrong. Because life happens and, plans. That's why you got plans B, C, D, E, F, all the way through to Z. And especially
Yeah.
on a holiday, I find rigidity kind of like, yo, I can't be rigid on a holiday. I like to
Mm.
plan, but I also know that
Mm.
everything may not go according to plan. And that's
Yeah.
okay. You know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just flex. We flex. We're open. And
Yeah.
I just, yeah, so that was disappointing. I've traveled with another friend and it was like, yo, we speak in the same language. But then
Yep.
again, we also had that conversation before, whilst we were looking for the place, whilst we were booking the flights. We had that conversation. What is it that you need? And there were days when we went off and did our separate things. And that's okay. We don't have to be with each other as friends holidaying all the time. And I'll travel with that person again, definitely. So I don't know. Traveling is a very personal, it's a very personal experience. And
Mm.
that, for me, I find that needs to be respected and honored. Family wise, I know that there are members of my family that I will never travel with. It's just not going to happen. No. I don't even know if I want to travel with family. Have I ever traveled with family? I don't know. Oh my gosh, yes. I've traveled with my mom. Don't think I'll do that again. Don't think so. Just, yeah, no, it's fine. You know what it is? My mom is from hospitality, right? That's her background. And she has very high, 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 high standards, right? So when we're eating out I just do a prayer before. Please, please, goddesses, universe, ancestors, all the things, please let the wait staff be on point. Please let the food be seasoned. Please let the food be
Lord.
seasoned right. Please let the lighting be right. Let the utensils, the knife, the forks be set up properly. Please, because today I'm not able. Okay, right. And so that leaves me tense. So that's why I say I don't think I'll travel with my mom again because I'm not able. I'm not able. What about you, Fee?
Um, yeah, I've done family trips. Very boy, because I'm a big family. Yeah. If it's five children,
Oh,
five very different personalities, and then my mom. Like we've done like lots of family trips when my father was still around, many going on the boats and things. So I was much younger, but as we're older and all of us have a say and opinions on how we want things done, it's very difficult. Um, so this last trip that we did to the Grenadines for my father's 100th birthday was a family trip. It was five of us. My one sister of mine, Janine, could not come, and I what I did is I just dressed back, Gasa. Where you want to go today? That's where we're going. No problem. Fiona says nothing. That's what we're eating today. No problem. Let's get
yeah.
it.
You
Oh, this
did
is the
that,
camp.
Sherween.
Yes, I gave no opinions. I said, hey, whatever you want to do, no problem. Because there's like we are all very strong, opinionated people in
Mm,
my family, and the combination can be very dangerous. So I
mm.
just dressed back and I just, hey, guys, whatever you want to do, I good. That's what I did. So the trip was fine. The trip was fine.
Wow.
We've done things like we did it's when our family is in pieces. that's when it works. Small chunks. So it's like little bit small doses of each personality, but when it's all together, it's very difficult. My brother-in-law said, it's like, yo, y'all talk over each other a lot. Like when we like if it's all of us at the table, and it is because when you think about it, I was reflecting the other day about one of my annoyances is when I don't feel I am listened to. So when I'm talking to you serious, I telling you something, like how I feel about something or whatever, and I come back to find out that you didn't listen, it annoys me. It's a big pet peeve of mine. And I realize why, because I'm the youngest. So in a
Okay.
family of 7 people, it's fighting to have a voice, right? So clearly
Mm.
that has transferred into friendships, relationships, or whatever, like fighting to be heard kind of thing. Or if I when I finally express myself and you I don't know, it's so just imagine that. Young Fiona, youngest,
Right.
family of seven
I
people.
I could see I could see how. I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so it's yes, so fighting to have a voice in that space and then having your opinions being respected and not dismissed and whatever. That feeling is still there now. Right now I have some siblings who fight to say, guys, let's stop talking to her like she's a child. Right? So some of my siblings have stepped in certain points when um I'm being dismissed, and plus added another thing, because we've spoken about this before. People be like, oh, that's just Fiona, Fiona don't care, Fiona Pamela, she's the airy fairy one. So when I add inputs, it's also respected less because I'm not mysterious to the point, rah 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 rah. So people tend to um respect me less, and that's
Mm.
even outside of my family dynamic, because I am the airy fairy one. So
Mm.
I just saying something is not to be taken seriously, as opposed to someone that's very serious, right?
Okay.
So in within traveling, it's been that way. So y'all, we've spoken about, like, when I travel with my former partner, he's like super organized, super thing, checking online thing, book packing, like, and it was really smooth traveling and it was great. But I also just dress back and let them
Mm.
handle it,
Mm.
which worked.
Yeah,
In that
listen.
situation, it
Yeah.
works. But then sometimes when you want to add your opinion to someone who's doing all the organizing, they may find it annoying,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So yeah, it depends. So for me, Chantal, something you said, like, please let the waiting staff be good or the food be good. Like me, I very chill, Gasa. Okay, sometimes the waiting staff
Listen.
may take long. I've been with some people, friends and family, they start to get ignorant of the waiting staff, and that's
Yes, I hate
uncomfortable for
it.
me.
I don't like
Yeah,
it. Yep,
yeah.
It's uncomfortable
same.
for me. Or
I don't like
they
it.
complaining about the food, and it's like,
Yeah,
Gasa, we here
girl.
already. What you want to do about it? Like, yo, just enjoy. Like, we here in this beautiful place. Okay, the food not that great, but Gasa, like, so those things make me uncomfortable. Now
Mm,
I'm not saying though fight for what you want,
absolutely.
And what
or
you paying for?
standards.
And don't accept, substandard
Yes,
service, especially substandard food that you pay your whole money for, right? I don't want people to accept that. But even in your
yes,
communication of that, to me, that's what's important. Like, how are you speaking to people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That part is the part that makes me uncomfortable. I don't mind
yeah.
people who are not happy with their food or their service expressing that, but how you express that.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Yep.
me, it says a lot about your character as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you feel you can speak to people just so, then I don't know if I want to share space with you,
Yeah.
right? And that's what makes me uncomfortable.
Yep. Yep. I hear that.
agreed, agreed, agreed.
Mm,
But I think, Shanta, when you're talking about like being organized, like you like to have a level of organization. Some people will say, "Oh, you're being so rigid," but I think that
mhm.
helps to get. It helps, once, to save money, so is you
Yes,
don't make last minute
yes,
decisions when on
yes,
holiday that costs you more.
yes.
Two, it negates a lot of stress,
It
because
does.
being organized doesn't mean you're not resting. Because I know
Mhm.
you don't play. You say, "Hey, rest time is like a meeting, though." I say I'm resting for these 4 hours, I am resting for these 4 hours.
Yes.
So I think those things are very helpful in traveling.
Yeah, because you don't want to go somewhere and not experience it, right? So even if you do have days where you just lounge around, which I am very much a fan of, you're lounging by the beach, you're lounging by the pool, you're lounging by the river, whatever. Yes, do that, please. Okay? Pleasure is our birthright, 100%. But also, what's the point of going to somewhere new if you're not going to make an effort to explore and experience it in its
Mm-hmm.
authenticity? What is the point?
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
So, yes,
Agreed.
schedule in a few days to do just that and do some research before so you don't waste time and money, right? And you don't get ripped off. I know reading reviews can be really tedious. Yes, it can be. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are going to spend like $150 doing a tour, for instance, see how other people who have experienced the tour truly feel
Yeah.
before you go book something for $150 and then end up being very disappointed because your expectations were A and you got Z, right?
Yeah.
But also, yes, Fiona, you being that free spirit, it is important also to have free days where you just kind of, what we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What we feeling today?
Nothing. Mm.
Like if it's nothing, it's nothing. If it's like let we do this, let we do this. Whatever. Have those days slotted in as well and respect the needs of others that you're traveling with.
Yeah.
Traveling solo is all about you, baby.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
do absolutely what you want to do when you want to do it, when you don't want to do it, all those things. But if you are traveling with other people, then from the get-go, you are committing to being open to other people's needs being met as well.
Yeah. I remember one time traveling solo, but that was my first time. I went to Sweden for four
Mm,
days by myself. And I stayed in the hotel. That was when my marriage was breaking down, and I was
right.
planning on moving to Sweden. I just went to Sweden and I stayed in a hotel by myself for 4 days, crying and sleeping
Mm-hmm.
and crying. I get up, I eat, I go downstairs in a restaurant, eat, go back up in the room. I never did anything. I just
And
went
that's
there to
okay.
Mm.
and I don't know why I had to go to Sweden to do that.
Well, you had to go to Sweden to
You
do
had
it,
a thing
baby.
for
I just
Sweden. You had a
went
thing for Sweden.
I
It's
just
fine.
went and I stayed in the hotel the whole 4 days,
That's right.
crying and sleeping and eating and crying and sleeping and eating. And you know what? I went back with my big girl pants on and I
Mm.
made a decision. But I needed the time to cry in Sweden.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
I needed the time to do that. Because I'm of the thought Fiona will tell you she doing all the planning. I like
Mm.
people to plan for. I don't stress, I don't stress. Fiona tell me, okay, just walk with your passport showing and make
Yes.
sure this is what's happening. She'll send me all the information weeks before. You think she'll read it? No.
Show
Because
No.
read.
No.
Fiona
Ah.
No.
already has everything figured out. I'm fine. I love that.
Mm.
She
Imagine
tell me,
that.
showing we're not eating breakfast today, we're eating lunch, we're eating. I'm good. I'm okay. I am the
My girl
easiest
pull up
person
to
to travel
Guadeloupe
with.
and read nothing. Okay. What we do today?
Nothing,
Oh,
Fiona.
Nothing.
Everything that you put together for that trip,
She
Showing did
did
not.
a lot of
she,
work.
she
Wow.
just pull up.
I
Yes.
am passenger princess. I
Yes, she
will
is.
be there. I will be the most
Oh.
fun and joy. You
Yes.
know what we're doing? Oh, we're going there.
She's
Oh,
she's
darling.
she's the life of the party. She pulling up.
That's because I'm not stressing.
Because she ain't doing no damn work.
I do not. I'm
I
the
love it.
easiest person to travel with. I am no stress.
I
They said
love that.
what time to get there. I am there and we're doing the thing. All right.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
that's
Mm.
me. But I did travel with a man once, and I swear to God, I almost killed him in the hotel room. We almost had a physical fight in the hotel room.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And I walk out and I call Fiona, I call my mother, I say, I coming back now. I was going right back to Stansted
Oh my
to to,
goodness.
to um to the airport and go to Stansted. Where we went to Amsterdam. My
Right.
favorite city in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I love Amsterdam. We've
Mm-hmm.
been there so many times, and I went with this mofo.
Oh.
And this man turned my city into a for me.
Oh
He was
no.
so miserable, so flipping miserable, complained about everything.
I
And
hate
I
that.
tell you, the day after we got there, I was ready to bounce. I'm like, I'm leaving. This is not for me.
Mm. Did you leave, Sherween? Did you actually leave?
When he saw me packing my bags, he started crying and begging me to stay. Oh, this is the only holiday I'm gonna have this year, and you're leaving. And I said, because you're an ass.
Right.
I don't have to stay around you. I
True
don't have
that.
to tolerate this. I'm out. I'm bouncing.
Wow.
And then he stopped me from leaving, and we did
Mm-hmm.
some mushrooms and we had sex. But it was good after that.
Wait, what?
Definitely,
You heard. You heard her,
let's move
Fiona.
right on.
What?
Let's move right
That went
on.
from 100
Nice.
to 0 real quick.
Lot of mercy.
Yeah, but
Mushrooms
I
and
was
sex.
out of there.
Mm.
I
Okay.
was out of there.
What
Yeah.
about packing? What are you guys like? What type of packing person are you? Are you
I
weeks
don't pack.
before, the night before, the day of? What kind
The
of
day
packer?
of, I just throw everything in a bag, and I always overloaded with shit I never need. Um, but I know I have it just in case. I don't pack nothing. I never unpack in a hotel room. By the way, I'm always living out of a suitcase, so my suitcase never gets unpacked. You know how
Right.
people put everything out and
Yes.
hang everything up and
Yes.
lay out all their toiletries. I'll lay out my toiletries. That's the one thing.
Okay.
But apart from that, I mean, not unpacking because why? Then I have to pack it all again. That's stress.
Wow. Fiona, what
Stress.
about you?
Um, yeah, I've gotten better,
Hmm.
and yeah, I'll definitely pack the night before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it also adds to the excitement. I tend to overpack outfits.
Hmm.
I think I map out like at least two outfits per day, something for the day, something for
Yes.
the evening, and
Yes.
I'll just throw in some extra ones.
Yes.
Which is I always find better to over than under,
Hmm.
because better to have more options. I think, boy, when you're there, someone you stranded, you don't have an outfit, boy, you're sticking at. So yeah, I think what I did learn from my former partner was pre-planning definitely is the way.
Yeah, girl.
Definitely is the way. It just because you end up in a scramble and you don't enjoy the journey of
Hmm.
getting there, and there's a rah rah whatever whatever. And I'm slowly getting better at it. So yeah, man,
Hmm.
I will make sure, like, if I have medication, always carry a little bit extra, because next thing, if your trip extends for a few more days, you're like, boy, my med's finishing. You don't
Right.
have, like, just always just pack a little extra. That's what
Hmm.
I'm doing now.
Mm, I like that. I think like you, Fiona, I've gotten better. Um, but yet, but yet I still end up packing the day before, which I don't like doing. I don't like,
Mm.
I want to be packed before. I don't want to be running around the day before doing this, doing that, doing that. But yet, I find myself for the last two trips doing just that. However,
Wow.
I've noted where I have improved is really mapping out how much stuff to take. I think I now have it down to a science, right? I
Okay.
So for instance, for the forum, for the cross continental forum, I knew that we would be doing stuff in the day and in the evening, right? And so that is what I did. I packed and depending on what was going on, because one of the days we did a partial tour of Barbados. So we actually got to see outside of like meeting rooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that I wanted to be comfortable, you know? So I was very specific in what I packed for the daytime stuff for that day and then for the evening. So I've gotten very good at that. I even roll up my underwear in the
Mm-hmm.
outfit. So I have my
Wow.
underwear. Yeah, man. I roll up my
That's a good
underwear.
tip, though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I wrap up my underwear in that outfit, then my underwear for that, depending on what I'm
So you're
wearing.
not going around a suitcase digging for
Girl,
ornaments.
exactly. So when I
Wow.
shake it out, boom, bam, underwear there, everything, bam. Oh,
That's a
yes.
great tip. Yes.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm going to get into the cubes because I know a lot of people are using cubes for packing. My sister does, and she swears by it. So I really want to get into the cube packing where you have all these cubes and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do that. But I was really proud of myself, even in terms of shoes. Like, what are we doing today? Is it a sneaker day? Is it a sandal day? Oh, in the evening for these two things, I might need to wear some heels, right? So down to that. And just in case, because I am a woman in perimenopause, and who knows, my period may show up whilst I'm there, even though I'm not due. Hello. And because I only use organic tampons
Mm.
and stuff, I make sure I take my own. My toiletries, I don't have no hair, so I love that. Right. But I do dispense like my facial stuff in the travel size worthy ones. Boom, bam. That's all good. In terms of unpacking, I I partial because like Sherween is like, yo, I'm gonna have to pack all these things back in the suitcase
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
few days.
Yep.
But do I
Yep.
want to unpack? Now, but some things I took out and hung up, like my nighttime outfits, because I wanted the creases to unfold. And you're not always sure that your hotel is gonna have like an ironing board. So those things I unpack. I leave them in the shower. I steam out the shower, and then I leave them hanging for a while, and then I hang them in the closet. That's definitely something I do. And I also always take either incense or a candle because I want,
Yes.
yes, scent is really important to me. And I want my space to feel like my space while I'm there. And using scent does that for me. So I always take a candle or incense. Yeah. But I think my packing has improved. And like Fiona said, also, I put in a few extra things just in case. Because, I could have
Mm.
met someone, they could have wanted to take me out. Didn't have time for
Always
any
be
of that.
prepared.
Always be prepared, but I didn't have time for any of that. The
Can I tell you
schedule
a story?
was
Can I tell you a
intense.
story?
Tell us a story.
There was a
Uh-oh.
time in
Mm-hmm.
like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to the Virgin Islands to do a talk and a fashion show.
Right.
Never been. It was, very, very foreign for me to do. I went on my own. I didn't know the people there. I just knew the people who invited me. And I packed extra and I had packed this dress I had made. And it was very low cut, flowy,
Mm-hmm.
purple, and I had bleached in. I painted with bleach and I painted
Oh.
some tattoos and stuff like that. And I went on a date with a white man, folks.
I'm leaving the chat.
Right? But let me tell you, he come and meet me. He came and meet me at this is one of the only like two dates I've ever gone on with a white man, okay?
Right.
And I was he was waiting for me at the bottom of this long staircase. And I was walking on the staircase and the wind was just blowing my
Oh
dress.
my God.
And the twinkle in diamond eyes, like May looked
Oh.
at me like I was the most beautiful woman in the world. Because when you said that, oh, you just might meet someone who may want to take you out,
Mm.
right? So yes, the fact that he was white is just a visual for
An
y'all.
aside.
But yes, a side point, right? But just make sure you pack a little
Yeah,
something
man.
so you can put a twinkle in somebody's eye just in
Yeah.
case.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, you know
Nice.
what, Fiona? Now I have to share something from Barbados,
Oh
right?
God.
It is.
No, for
Boy.
real. Because you said that. No, but we didn't have time, trust. And so it was a night of the Ava and Lorraine conversation and came out of the screening room and had my back turned. And I just heard someone say, Chantal, Chantal from Nevis. I was like, oh, Chantal from Nevis. Yay. So I turn around and there is the most Beautiful, man. Just like, what is happening? Beautiful. Sherween, Fiona, beautiful. So I'm being Miss Universe and keeping it calm. Like, yes.
As
He's like,
always.
oh, you mentioned something about Nevis, and my friend's wife is working with the film commission in Nevis, and I really want you to meet him. I'm like, okay, no problem. All whilst staring at the most beautiful face I've ever seen, right? With locks, Sherween.
Okay, now I'm interested.
I knew it.
Now she
I'm
now
like,
she's
I'm like,
now
now she's in.
I've sat
Now,
up. I've
now she's
sat
paying
up.
attention. Now
I've
she's paying
sat up.
attention. Yes, with locks. And so he's there talking, and I'm like, his mouth is moving. Don't know what he's saying. Don't know what he's saying because I'm just staring into these gorgeous eyes. Like I could dive into his eyes and just swim. And I'm like, oh, he's saying something. Let me tune my senses back in. So I'm listening to what this man is saying because there are some people whose beauty really
Yes,
takes you
yes.
to a whole other time and space. And that is
Yep,
what happened. Right.
yep.
So I'm there talking to his friend about Nevis and the fact that, his wife is helping to develop the film commission here, etc. And, I'm being very honest and saying, I am not about colonized storytelling. The whole point of the forum that I'm attending is to decolonize co production. And for what I've seen so far from the screenings that the Film Commission and Nevis is hosting, I'm not interested in those films, right? I had to be really honest. I said, I'm just not interested. And so I'm talking and I'm turning now to speak to the beautiful young man. And then Francis Ann Solomon comes over. Come on, Chantal, you have to go. You're going to dinner.
hey,
You're going
hey,
to
hey,
dinner.
hey, hey.
I'm like, I didn't, like, when I say it
Read the
snapped me
room.
out, it snapped me out in an instant. She's like, yeah, taxi's waiting. There's a dinner. Because I hadn't planned to go to a
Oh.
dinner. But apparently there was a dinner arranged with Lorraine Toussaint that I was requested to join, right? So I'm a little bewildered. I'm like, what dinner? I'm waiting for the bus to go back to the hotel. She's like, no, 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 no. You're going to dinner. You're going to dinner. And I'm like, okay. So I just said bye and followed Francis
That was
Ann.
it?
And that was it. That was it.
That's
That
loud
Humble
makes me bad.
Listen, I was in
class.
the taxi like this dinner better be the best food I have ever had in my life, the best conversations I have ever had, ever, ever, ever. Because yo. So that also happened. That also happened. And it was a very good dinner and very good conversations. So worth
Yeah,
it.
that's great.
Fiona's
Spice
like,
Uh,
and
yeah,
all.
yeah,
would have
yeah.
been great if I got that man's number. Damn, damn.
Wasn't
Another
meant
one
to
bites the
be.
dust.
Wasn't, and I knew nothing about him, but I just know that he was
Okay.
beautiful.
Fate would
That's
have
it.
it that you all will run into each other again.
If it's meant to be, it will happen, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Guys,
Me, I just go and stalk you until I find
yes, and what you have is we
We know
don't
that.
know
We
which
know that
number
feeling.
one
We know. We know.
private investigator.
you.
Anyway,
Yes.
Yes, Sherween.
All right, folks. For this week's Under the Mango Tree, we are talking all things retreat, escape, history, culture, eating mango, and all kinds of things.
there are some things coming up. We have two things that I want to give a mention. The first one is we will have an Egypt retreat coming up. More information about that during the next episode. I cannot wait. It's a spiritual retreat in Egypt. I do not have all the details, but it's coming up, and I need our relatable family to get on board that because, hey, we into the time of spiritual awakening. For me personally, Egypt is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So look out for more information. I'll bring it to you, and we might have the person who's going to be running the retreats on the podcast as well. So look out for that. That's the first one. The second one we need to talk about is Know Your Caribbean is having a massive, mad, beautiful, amazing retreat in St. Lucia in October. Fee, let us know what's going on.
Yes. So a lot of people always asking the Caribbean if we host retreats or do tours in St. Lucia. And so we decided to bite the bullet and do it. So we've been spending the past few months curating an amazing itinerary where you are coming to St. Lucia, you're staying in only locally owned hotels, which are 4 stars. Um, you're working with locally run tour operators, going to local restaurants, and it's going to be an immersive history, culture, relaxation vibes for 5 nights, 6 days in St. Lucia. And all you have to do is to cover your flights, and then we have our different tiered fees for the retreat, but it includes all your meals, your stay, all your travel, transport. You'll be doing boat rides. We'll be doing Grocery Friday nights. You're going to get some history sessions with me. So it's a fully inclusive, cultural, historical, full of vibes experience in St. Lucia. All information is on knowyourcaribbean.com. And any queries, we are happy to help. And we do have a payment plan. So we understand that people may want to break up their payments into chunks, and we can absolutely accommodate that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Is there a deadline, Fiona?
We have a preferred deadline, which is the end of August, just as
Okay.
we have to make the confirmations with all of our partners.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Right. So, listeners, you heard it. Two retreats coming up, one in St. Lucia and the other one in Egypt. Look out for more information. And let's just jump into what brings us joy this week. Let's start with you, Chantal.
What's bringing me joy this week is being back home. There's no place like home. And I'm loving being back in Nevis, getting resettled into my routines. I love the breeze outside my windows, my neighbors' annoying 14 dogs, you know, all the things.
It's the little
It's
things.
the little things. And what's bringing me joy is being back home.
All right, Fiona, what has been bringing you joy this week?
I think this may work for the both of us, but it was we had a very good meeting that you coordinated, Sherween, with the Sufra Foundation. And, we, at one point, we were very deflated in terms of bringing in this group from Guadeloupe to perform for St. Lucia, to do the workshops. We've been getting, either no response, slow response from potential sponsors. And their enthusiasm yesterday was so encouraging. The way they were so excited to bring the group down, wanted the group to stay longer, and they have some amazing ideas of what we're going to be doing with them in Sufra. So you need to look out because we're coming and disrupt places. We're coming and disrupt places. So
Yes.
yes,
You're right. For me, it is Vokum coming to St. Lucia. That has been bringing me a lot of joy. Uh, Everything else I've got going on, just every morning I wake up and the first thing that comes to my mind is Vokum Kavini, which is Vokum is coming. And at some points, we were deflated, we were worried. But now that is what's bringing me all the joy. That meeting yesterday was just wow. I knew it was a tentative yes, but I did not expect that level of excitement, that level of, they are fully on board, and I don't see it being a one-time thing. I don't know about you, Fiona. I think they in Sufred, the foundation, the way they were speaking is like they want it to be something that carries on. So lots of potential. And just excitement in the air. Vokum Kavini people. So that's been bringing me a lot of joy.
same here. Same. So, folks, I'm sorry that this episode began with us quarreling so much, but it's only from love, always love. And I hope this episode also encourages you to travel. Let us know some of your travel stories, the best of the best, the worst of the worst. We want to know all. Whether your travels are down the road or across the world, remember always that a shared journey
Brings wow. Wow, I love it.
Thank you. Is the
Bye.
falsetto.
Bye.
Relatable.
Relatable, because a shared journey brings hope.